Hi, everyone. It's Jennifer Britton. I want to welcome you to our special June 2025 mid-year community call. I'm coming at you today from beautiful Muskoka, Canada. I felt that it was really apropos to bring you outside to the river, outside to where I am very blessed to work, and want to thank you for joining us for this mid-year call. I really enjoy this time of year to stop and take a pulse of where things are at. I've just actually finished wrapping up the Coaching Business Booster for our mid-year. And that is a half-day program that is live and it will be released on demand for people who want to follow through. Taking stock of where we're at is so critical in today's world. So I wanted to invite you to think about where are you now and what's been shifting in your work, your world. As it is mid-year, there's lots on the go, lots happening in the world. And as entrepreneurs, it's really critical that we do take time to get focused and focused on what matters for us and the people we serve. So, with that in mind, I have a very reflective 30 minutes planned for our call today. It may just be me, and that's fine. I want to invite you to grab your notebook, your journal, whatever you use, some paper, because it is time. And here in Canada, our time in nature, our time to actually have some warm air is very limited. We've gone from cold, cold weeks of 50-degree weather a few weeks ago to yesterday it was over 100. And so as we step into Q3 of 2025, want to invite you to think about what it is that you want to create. So I've got some images here. I'm going to give us a minute, as always, to just bring ourselves in the room and think about what is it that you want to create with your summer vibes. Are there conversations? Is there an expanse? Is there a shift that you want to bring in? Take a moment and please indicate for yourself, draw it out, sketch it out, because this will be a mini notebook that you'll be working through today. It's about 15 more seconds to pick an image. Think about how it connects for you and your summer, Q3 that lies ahead. So, welcome, Ivana. We are just getting started. I was just saying this is going to be a very active grab a pen, grab a paper. I chose the kayak today, the lemon or banana yellow kayak, to represent what I think is a season of travel, agility, and different people along the path. That's what I love about kayaks, right? It's a little more agile than, say, a canoe. And what I'm finding very stimulating is a lot of different conversations with a lot of different people. So, from teams to organizations to coaches, very three different sets of conversations, which keeps it fresh and keeps it like adventurous. I'm a Sagittarius, so I like adventure. How about you? What did you pick today?
Um, I'm going to pick the bottom right, which is the plant. For me, I see it to be grounding. And at the same time, because there's so many different leaves that come off that base plant, it just speaks to like even the edges of each of those leaves, the color in each of those leaves. And I kind of see that to be like the conversations that I'm also having, but also like the possibility, like it kind of feels like there's so many little leaves in that photo, and yet we're all grounded by the base plant, which is who we are.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, for those that are listening in, because I know our Hot Topics calls are getting about 40 viewers on YouTube within a 2 week period, which means that you're watching. Let us know as part of the comments what you're looking at. And today is really an opportunity, as I said earlier, grab a pen. We're going to be doing some reflective work to help you pause and get grounded on what's important for you. So if you are just finding yourself into our ecosystem, these are community calls. It's a way for us to stay connected with our folks, to sort of talk about what's going on. And if you missed our last call, it was about facilitation and focus in lead up to my July programming here in beautiful Muskoka. That links to a LinkedIn article. If you haven't read the article on group coaching, team coaching, and facilitation skills, really, I think it's a good one to look at. What's the right approach? And you'll find that under my LinkedIn profile. So we are into our second of our summer hot topics calls. Today is our mid-year check-in. It's an opportunity for you to take stock, to look at summer projects, and we'll be back in 2 more weeks on another hot topic call around AI. I've had a lot of fun in Q2, in the last few months, working with coaches, working with organizational teams on AI, helping everyone sort of do things a little bit more quickly in the world of change. And that is what will be our topic on July the 8th, also a half-hour call. We're then going to get into creativity, and I'll be bringing that hopefully outside at the end of July and also in August on retreats. And as you can see around me, right, so much of my work right now is focused on bringing the outdoors in, especially while we can use that as a deep dive for people to connect with self, connect with others, and connect with even nature, right? The rhythms of the world. So with that, we are going to get into a call that I hope you will see as part of that's integral as your growth as a group and team coach. Because as I shared last week, your work is going to keep growing. And it's not just about showing up and learning new skills, it's also about starting to really discern practices to help you get grounded. And that's what these midterm reviews are. I always have to do a bit of a plug for our Coaching Many podcast. We love welcoming you as listeners, and I know we're well over 100, and I think I want to say 120 countries from around the world. I had a stat that I was looking at earlier. In January, we had listeners from close to 100 countries. So I think we're well over that now. We are into season 2. Episode 27 is engagement, and episode 28 is niche or not too niche, which just was released yesterday. So that is the lay of the land. Anything you want to say on the podcast that might be of interest for people, Ivana, before we get into some planning work?
Yeah, I think all I would say is, it's a podcast that really offers some consideration and thought. So I would invite people that you don't need to necessarily start with episode one. It obviously kind of kicks off the podcast, but I would just invite you to like scroll the titles of the episodes and just dip your foot in and see what sticks and what doesn't, because you and I both bring we approach group and team coaching similarly, and at the same time we come with a different way of doing it. And I think that's part of the joy that I get to have with you weekly, is like I get to learn and grow from you while also sharing my own approaches, my own experiences. And so that's what I think what makes our podcast um, really interesting, that it's just not one opinion in one way. It's like there's many doorways, many pathways into the conversation, and the episodes just are different topics to explore as it relates to that.
And my guess to sort of segue it into today's topic, you have found as a coach many doorways, as I've been saying for many years. Like there are so many conversations that we can be having. And so this is really part of a 90-day review or even a 180-day review. You can choose whether you want to look back to January 1st, 2025, or whether you want to use today as a quarterly review. I think, in business, even, and I just had this question this morning from someone at the Coaching Business Booster, which I do twice a year. Um, is there value in planning in a heavily changing environment and a disrupted environment? And I think I want to go to the flip side. What if you don't do any planning, right? If you are totally unanchored, what happens then? Are you just getting bashed against the waves of change? Or what if you really use even the next 20 minutes that we're going to have together to really think about what is working, what's not, what might need to like have some adjustment, or what can you really double down on, even with change? Because I was just saying, you know, having been in this business for 2 decades, but also working in the landscape of human development since 1986, I've seen a lot of change, right? And the changes that we're going through now, different reasons why the change is happening, but I do feel that there are a lot of the same skills that we're still leaning into in terms of resilience, in terms of agility and adaptability. And yes, the context is different. Yes, the change may be faster, but also think about the changes we've successfully gone through in 2020, even after 9/11, in the 2007 economic downturn, even in the 90s as well. So I leave it at that. And I hope that today is a useful experience for you. So I'm going to just actually bring up our timer because we've got about 8 questions that we're going to work through right now. And I'd like to invite you to think about what have your major successes been, right? If we don't know what we've done and done well, it's hard to know where we're going. So I'm going to just for my need than anyone else's, I gotta just go and get our timer up, and that way, for those that are following along, it's also useful to just know where you are in that time frame. Like anything, you can stay with this question, you can move to another question, but it's going to help you manage your own time. So let's get Zoom, which has been working overtime this morning for me. Go to our timer.
Your background is simply beautiful while you do that to
Well,
see
I
the
was saying this is not a
time.
background. This is my life. This is where I live
That's what
in
I
the summer.
mean. Yeah, but just like the background of the real like the movement, as we talk about change and mid year point, it's like, the grounding of the movement behind you. Like
Yeah.
it's really beautiful, the metaphor.
And I wanted to bring in some of that grounding today because I think people, myself included, it's very easy to feel discombobulated in the world today. And this is the place that I keep coming back to. It is my place to just get grounded again. So I wanted to bring that in as a bit of a gift for those that might be feeling a little untethered. And that's okay because the world is an interesting place right now. So with that, I am going to see if I can restart our timer. First question is, and again, you can adjust these, but first question is, what have your major successes been? 2025 or the last quarter?
You're on mute, Jen.
Thank you. As I was saying, what stands out as you think about the last 3 to 6 months? What stands out for you? And that might include also things that didn't work, not just things that did work. All right, next question. I'm going to make this a little bit shorter just so that we get through these within our time today. The next question is, where have you made progress towards your 2025 goals, your annual goals? This might require that you pull out that goal list. What have you been able to check off the list? And remember, progress is not always a linear path. It's not always a straight path. All right, next question. Where have you used your strengths to make things easy? And get specific here. If you've done your Clifton strengths, go back and refer to them. If you've done VIA strengths, pull it out. How have you used your strengths to make things easy? And maybe how have you overused your strengths? Right. Next question. What are the blockages? Let's flip the coin. What are the blockages? And next question around support. Who is supporting you? All right. And I think we have one more else. Who else would be great to have on the journey? Who do you want to put in your kayak? Who else do you want to have with you? All right. Didn't set the timer on that one. We'll go to our final question. What's going to amplify your results? And this is our graphic, our logo for the Amplify Mastermind. Notice the signal tower. Notice the radio tower and how it really step by step by step amplifies. So the question is, what's going to amplify your results in the next 6 months? All right. Let's see. I think that is the last question that I had for us today. So, what got clear out of all of our questions today? Oh, maybe there's one last one. What else? So, yeah, let's do a what else and then we'll do a wrap up. What else do you want to pay attention to, especially as you think about the next 6 months? What is the what else? Right. So, this is not all the questions, but it's certainly some of the questions that are useful. What was valuable for you today, Ivana, with the 7, 8 questions we had? What did you notice?
I just love these, eh? Can I tell you? Yeah, because it just helped me really kind of get laser focus and really kind of leave all the rest aside and just go, okay, like I've been in this conversation even with my own coaching clients and groups, like the three things, like this doesn't have to be overly complex.
Mm,
And so just having 25 minutes with some prompts to just go deeper, but also have clarity on, okay, like what else? It's the strategy. Like it's okay, what's the strategy for the next 6 months? Three things, right?
yeah,
Word of mouth, online groups, it's like that.
that's it. Right? It doesn't, yeah, my theme was like continue to simplify to magnify. It's been the
Ooh.
theme of the last 3 years, right? If it's like now is a layer of I've done the simplification of all aspects of my life, my roles, and now it's like the business. So that is this year's phase, which is, what else? What else makes sense? And like this image, right? There's many turns and it's not straight, but there's lots of cool things to look at as you go. So
Totally.
I hope the people who joined us asynchronously found this valuable. Again, look at your data. I didn't have a slide on the metrics. I think this is the key time of year. Pull out your plan, do track, pull out your coaching business builder if you've been following along with that process. Take a look back at your annual plans, take a look at your metrics. If you don't have metrics from the beginning of the year, start now, right? What are you noticing about your profit in, your revenue out? What are you noticing about your followers and how you're showing up? Is it an upward trajectory? Is it flat? Is it going down? Start tracking and just know that we are in an interesting moment in time as well. So give yourself grace if you're not seeing what you hope you see, because it is a big world out there right now. Any final thoughts, comments before we go to wrap up, Ivana? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I think this is also for the our listeners and our alumni. I think this is a great call that demonstrates reflective prompts
Yeah.
in groups or teams. So thank you for modeling this. And like this is also a demo call for that. So beautiful.
I think it really is a demo call. So whether we call this a mid-year review demo, it is a demo. We hope that you got value out of it. I will do the one little plug for the coaching and change. Join me dockside. Join me from the beautiful lake if you need a break. Virtually as well, right? So I've heard from a number of people in the last few weeks when I put out my Muskoka programming saying I want to come, but I can't. And so join me virtually for some work this summer or this fall. Well, Ivana,
Beautiful.
as always, a pleasure. Do listen to our latest episodes over at the Coaching Many podcast. You'll find it on your favorite player or over at coachingmanypodcast.com. And with that, we're back in 2 weeks for our next call. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Hi.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.